Greetings, my dedicated students, students of English, of growth, and of life. You didn't just click on this video by accident. You made a choice. Maybe the first real choice you've made in a while. Because what you're about to hear is not another list of simple tips that everyone repeats. It's not wake up early. It's not drink more water. And it's definitely not another short, empty motivational speech that sounds good for 5 minutes and then disappears. This is different. This is about something deeper, something real. It's about the quiet battle that happens inside you every single day. The battle between the life you are living now and the life you know you could be living. It's about the version of you that you've been putting on hold. The dreams you keep delaying. The promises you keep breaking to yourself. The voice that says, I'll start tomorrow. But let me tell you the truth. Tomorrow is a myth. It doesn't exist. It's an excuse our brain creates to make us feel safe while we waste another day. Procrastination isn't just a small bad habit. It's a thief. A silent thief that patiently steals your time, your focus, your confidence, and your future. And the worst part? Most people don't even notice until it's too late. But you're not like most people. You're here because something inside you is tired. Tired of the guilt. Tired of the shame. Tired of self-sabotage. Tired of feeling stuck. Tired of pretending to be okay while you know you could be so much more. You are ready. Ready not just to be productive, but to take control of your time, of your focus, of your life. And that's exactly what we'll do together. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 hard, powerful truths about procrastination. Not soft advice. Not motivational quotes. Real, practical lessons that will change the way you act, think, and live. You will learn how to move forward even when you feel no motivation. You will learn how to take action when your mind wants to quit. You will learn how to finally become the version of yourself who doesn't wait for life to begin, but creates it. And here's something special most people forget. While you're improving your mindset, you're also improving your English. Every sentence you hear helps you grow your vocabulary. Every idea you understand makes your listening sharper. Every word brings you closer to fluency. So this is not just a motivational talk. It's a double-edged sword, one side for your mind and one side for your language. Are you ready to stop watching life pass by and start taking control? Then let's begin. Step 1. Stop waiting for motivation, build a system. Let's destroy one of the biggest lies ever told. I'll start when I feel motivated. That one sentence has killed more dreams than failure ever has. Because here's the truth, motivation is not coming. Motivation is not a magical energy that appears and pushes you to act. It's just a feeling, and feelings are not reliable. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. And if your whole future depends on waiting for the right feeling, then your future is in serious danger. Let me explain this simply. Your brain is not designed to chase big goals. It's designed to avoid pain. So whenever a task feels difficult, scary, or uncomfortable, your brain tries to protect you by avoiding it. It whispers, let's do it later. That's why you can scroll on your phone for hours, but you can't open the book you want to study. That's why you can watch 15 videos about success, but not work on your own project. You are not lazy. You are human. You just don't have a system strong enough to control your brain's fear and resistance. That's what successful people have. They don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on feeling ready. They rely on systems. Simple, repeatable actions that make progress automatic, even when they don't feel like it. Motivation may get you started once, but systems keep you going every single day. So from now on, stop asking, how can I feel motivated? Start asking, what small system can I build today? That's where real change begins. Step 1. Stop waiting for motivation, build a system. Let me give you a real story. A student named Nick wanted to study for 2 hours every day. He had big dreams. He wanted to improve, to focus, to finally stay consistent. But every day he kept waiting. He waited for the right time. He waited for the right mood. He waited for the perfect environment, a clean desk, quiet room, no distractions. And because he was always waiting, days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months. He didn't start. Nothing changed. Then one day, Nick decided to try something different, something simple. He made one small rule. Every morning at 7 a.m., I will sit at my desk for 30 minutes. Even if I don't feel like it. Even if I don't study properly. I will sit. I will show up. That was it. No big plan. No pressure. Just show up. The first few days were tough. He didn't study much. He got bored. He wanted to quit. But he followed the rule. Sit for 30 minutes, no excuses. And something amazing started to happen. Day by day, his brain began to understand the pattern. At 7 a.m., it was study time. No thinking, no deciding, no waiting. Just doing. After a few weeks, he didn't need motivation anymore. He had a system. He built a routine that became non-negotiable, like brushing his teeth. That's the real secret. Successful people don't ask, "How long should I work?" They ask, "When do I start, no matter what?" Because when your start time becomes a habit, the work itself becomes a lifestyle. You don't have to feel inspired. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to show up. Even if you sit there for 10 minutes doing nothing, that's okay. You're teaching your brain a new truth. This is what we do now. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wait until you feel excited to do it. You don't say, "I'll brush when I'm motivated." You just do it because it's part of your life. That's what systems do. They make action automatic. They make progress normal. So if you truly want to change your life, stop relying on feelings. Stop waiting for motivation. Start building actions that are non-negotiable. Not when you feel like it, not when you're ready, but when the clock hits the time you chose. Because waiting for motivation is like waiting for rain in a drought. It might come, it might not. But a system doesn't wait. A system works, even when you don't want to. Step 2. Make the task too small to reject. Most people don't procrastinate because something is hard. They procrastinate because it feels too big. When a task looks big in your mind, your brain immediately labels it as dangerous. Not dangerous like a tiger, but dangerous to your comfort, to your energy, to your peace. So your brain protects you. It says, "Not now. It's too much. Let's do it later. Let's prepare more." But here's the truth. Your brain isn't protecting you. It's paralyzing you. It would rather keep you stuck in a loop of comfort and guilt than let you take one uncomfortable step forward. That's why people say, "I want to start writing. I want to start exercising. I want to start learning." But weeks pass and nothing happens. Because the goal feels too big. And the brain keeps saying, "Not yet." So how do you break that loop? You don't fight the resistance head on. You shrink it. You make the task so small that your brain has nothing to fight. Not just small, ridiculously small. So small it almost feels silly. Because that's when your brain finally relaxes and lets you begin. Let's say your goal is to write an article. Immediately your brain panics. That's too much. It'll take hours. You're not ready. But what if your only goal is this? Open the document and write one sentence. That's it. Just one sentence. Now your brain says, "Oh, that's easy. I can do that." And once you start, something magical happens. You keep going. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum kills procrastination. Let me share a powerful truth. Some of the most successful people in the world, authors, coders, creators, don't wait for long, perfect sessions. They live by one simple rule. Start with something I can't say no to, even if it's just 2 minutes, even if it's one push-up, even if it's one line of code, even if it's opening the book and reading one page. Because the goal isn't to finish. The goal is to start without resistance. Over time, those tiny, silly actions grow into hours of real work, deep focus, and strong habits. But you'll never reach that point if you keep expecting yourself to climb the whole mountain before you even tie your shoes. So here's what to do. Break your big task into the smallest possible first step. Make it so small it feels almost pointless. Then do it anyway. Why? Because this is not about achievement. It's about identity. You're teaching your brain who you are becoming. You're showing yourself that action, no matter how small, is what defines progress. That's how you stop being a dreamer and start becoming a doer. Step 3. Delete the option to escape. Now, let's talk about a deeper truth, one most people don't want to face. You keep procrastinating because you always have a way out. You tell yourself things like, if I don't do it now, I'll do it later. If I get distracted, I'll catch up. If I fail, it's fine, I'll restart tomorrow. But that's the trap. Because when your brain knows there's a backup plan, it never takes the main plan seriously. It's like trying to stay faithful in a relationship while secretly keeping another person waiting on the side. It kills commitment. And that's exactly what you've been doing with your dreams. You've been keeping your distractions close. You've been giving yourself soft exits. And the worst part? You've been doing it quietly, so no one notices. Let's be brutally honest for a second. You say you're focused, but your phone is right beside you. You say you're working, but your TV remote is an arm's reach away. You say you want discipline, but your social apps are still logged in. Your YouTube tab is still open. Your notifications still flashing. You're not just procrastinating. You're building an environment where failure is easy. So if you really want to change, you have to destroy your escape routes. You have to build a world where doing the work is not an option, it's the only way forward. Here's how you do that. Turn off your phone completely, not just silent, but off. Block distractions, use an app or browser extension to stop access to time-wasting sites. Remove entertainment, no TV, no games, no open tabs in your workspace. Work in a focused environment, a library, a co-working space, a quiet cafe, somewhere that makes distraction uncomfortable. Tell someone your goal and promise them proof when it's done. Accountability kills excuses. Because when there's no way out, your brain finds a way through. The burning bridge effect. Let me share something powerful, something proven in psychology. It's called the burning bridge effect. When a person removes all options to retreat, they become unstoppable. Imagine this. 2 warriors travel across the sea to conquer new land. They arrive by boat, ready for battle. But their commander gives an unbelievable order. Burn the boats. Now, there's no going back. No escape. No plan B. They either win, or they die trying. And that's what makes them fight harder than ever before. That's what gives them their unstoppable strength. Because retreat is no longer possible. That's the same mindset you need for your own life. As long as you keep your distractions nearby, as long as you keep your comfort zones open, as long as failure still feels safe, you'll keep running from your potential. But the moment you burn the boats, the moment you destroy your escape routes, your commitment becomes real. That's when your mind changes from I'll try to I must. From I hope to I will. And that's when you finally move forward for real. Your challenge. Right now, not tomorrow, not later. Choose one escape route and delete it. Turn off the phone. Log out of the apps. Close the extra tabs. Tell a friend your deadline. Do something that forces you to move forward. Because the moment you remove the way out, your only choice becomes progress. And that's when the real version of you starts to rise. Step 4. Rewire the voice inside your head. Now, let's face something uncomfortable, but real. What do you call yourself when no one's listening? When you waste another day scrolling? When you miss another deadline? When you fail to finish what you started? What do you say to yourself? I'm such a loser. I'm lazy. I'll never change. What's wrong with me? Sound familiar? If it does, then stop right here and take this in. You are not a procrastinator. You are simply someone who has been tricked into believing that you are. And that belief has quietly become your identity. You've repeated it so many times. I'm lazy. I'm unmotivated. I always mess up. That your brain has accepted it as truth. It's not just something you do anymore. It's become who you think you are. And that's why change feels so hard. Because you're not just fighting a habit. You're fighting your own self-image. You're trying to act like a disciplined person. But deep down, you keep calling yourself lazy. That's like trying to swim with an anchor tied to your leg. No matter how hard you move, it pulls you back. How your brain actually works. Let's make this simple. Every time you repeat something out loud or in your head, your brain listens. It takes notes. And then it starts collecting evidence to prove that what you said is true. If you tell yourself, I'm a mess, I can't finish anything, your brain will begin to show you proof. It'll whisper, see? You didn't complete that course. Remember how you quit your morning routine? Look, last month's to-do list is still empty. But here's the truth no one tells you. Your brain is not showing you reality. It's showing you what it has been told to find. If you say, I'm lazy, it finds laziness. If you say, I'm undisciplined, it finds proof. If you say, I always give up, it turns that statement into prophecy. Your thoughts become filters. They decide what you see. But here's the good news. You can change the filter. You can teach your brain to look for something new. Start saying things like, I am someone who finishes. I follow through. I may move slowly, but I move. I take action even when I don't feel like it. I no longer call myself a procrastinator. At first, it will feel strange. It might even feel like a lie. Your brain will scream, that's not true. But you say it anyway. You say it every single day. You write it down. You speak it into the mirror. You repeat it before you work. You whisper it before you sleep. Because repetition creates belief. Belief creates identity. And identity creates behavior. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. If your identity is, I always quit, you'll keep quitting. But if your identity becomes, I keep showing up even on bad days, even when it's hard, even when no one notices, then you win. Not because you became perfect, but because you stopped letting your past control your label. Your next action. Right now, not later, take one moment to rewrite your label. Stop saying, I'm lazy. Start saying, I'm learning to be consistent. Stop saying, I'm a procrastinator. Start saying, I'm someone who takes small steps forward. Because your identity is not fixed. It's a story you've been repeating. And you can rewrite that story, starting today. Step 4. Continued rewire from the inside out. Every time you catch yourself saying something cruel or self-destructive, stop. Interrupt the pattern. Don't let that voice keep talking. Say out loud, That's not who I am anymore. Then replace it with a new truth. One you want to believe. Even if you don't yet. Because if you say it enough, you'll start to believe it. And once you believe it, you'll start to live it. That's how real change happens. Not just by forcing new behavior, but by building a new identity from the inside out. Step 5. Let discomfort become your normal. Here's one of the most painful and powerful truths you'll ever hear. You don't fear the task. You fear the feeling that comes with it. It's not the email you avoid. It's the anxiety that writing it brings. It's not the gym. It's the soreness, the effort, the embarrassment. It's not the homework. It's the mental friction of starting. It's not the writing. It's the voice whispering, it won't be good enough. You're not running from action. You're running from discomfort. And that makes sense, because your brain is built for survival, not success. And to survive, it tries to protect you from anything that feels unpleasant. But here's the danger. The more you avoid discomfort, the stronger it grows. Every time you skip something hard, you teach your brain to fear it more. You reinforce the lie that says, if it doesn't feel easy, it's not for me. If it's uncomfortable, I should stop. If it's painful, I should wait. And that's how most people waste their lives. They wait until it feels right to begin. They wait for motivation, for clarity, for confidence. But nothing great ever comes from comfort. The business, the book, the degree, the transformation. Every one of them was born from discomfort. From doing the thing you didn't want to do. From facing what scared you. From showing up again and again until it became normal. How to stop running from discomfort. You stop treating it like an enemy. And you start making it your routine. Here's how. Every day, choose one uncomfortable action on purpose. Don't wait for it to appear, go find it. If you're afraid to make a phone call, make it first thing in the morning. If you hate waking up early, do it every day for 30 days. If you avoid confrontation, have one honest conversation today. If you fear starting a task, set a 5-minute timer and begin without thinking. The goal isn't to finish. The goal is to retrain your brain. You're teaching it a new rule. Discomfort is safe. Discomfort is welcome. Discomfort is growth. Because over time, the hard things stop feeling hard. Not because they get easier, but because you get stronger. The difference between dreamers and doers. That's what separates winners from dreamers. Winners aren't fearless. They've just learned to stay calm inside discomfort. They walk toward the pain, not away from it. They show up, even when it burns. So stop chasing ease. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop searching for comfort. Walk into the fire. Sit in the tension. Breathe through the resistance. Because every second you survive discomfort, you take back power from procrastination. And soon, you'll stop saying, I can't do this. And start saying, I do hard things. That's who I am. And that's why I succeed. Step 6. You don't need more time, you need more truth. Let's destroy one of the biggest lies right now. People say, I don't have time. I want to do it, but I'm just too busy. When I finally get some free time, I'll start. That sounds reasonable. But let's be brutally honest. Time is not the problem. You have time. You have the same 24 hours as every successful person on this planet. The same mornings. The same nights. The same minutes. The same calendar. The difference isn't time. The difference is truth. The truth that you're not using the time you already have. The truth that you're choosing distraction over discipline. The truth that you're doing things that feel productive, but keep you stuck, broke, and tired. You don't need 4 more hours. You need 4 seconds of raw honesty with yourself. The kind of honesty that says, I'm spending 3 hours a day consuming content, but I complain I have no time to create. I'm watching people live my dream. Instead of working on my own, I call it rest. But it's really just avoidance. And yeah, it hurts. Because the truth always hurts before it heals. But without truth, there is no transformation. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop measuring your life in hours. Start measuring it in intentions. The real question isn't, how much time do I have? It's, what am I doing with the time I already have that actually moves me forward? You don't need a perfect day. You don't need a quiet house or an empty inbox. You don't need to wait for the stars to align. You need to take the 10 minutes you do have and use them to create something better than another excuse. People say, I work 10 hours a day. I'm too tired. But here's the truth. You're not tired from working too much. You're tired from wasting the little time you do have and carrying the guilt of that waste all day long. Because nothing drains you faster than knowing you could have done better and didn't. You want your energy back? Use your time wisely and watch how light you feel. Because procrastination is heavy, but progress, even tiny progress, gives you life. Here's your challenge. Write down this question and answer it every morning. What is one thing I can do today, even if it takes 5 minutes, that moves me forward? That's it. No more lies about time. No more hiding behind your schedule. The truth is, you do have time. Now it's your choice to waste it or to wake up. Step 7. Action first, feelings second. Not ever. Why? Because your brain always favors comfort. And comfort rarely feels like effort. So your feelings will always tell you to stay in bed, to scroll a little longer, to start tomorrow, to do something easier first. But here's the truth. You cannot build your future based on how you feel. Because feelings are like weather. They change constantly. They're unreliable. They're unstable. But your dreams? They need consistency. They need structure. They need movement, especially when you feel nothing. Let's go deeper. Every time you say, I don't feel like it, what you're really saying is, I want to act based on emotion, not intention. And that's how you lose. You feel tired, so you skip the work. You feel insecure, so you delay the project. You feel overwhelmed, so you avoid the task. And every time you do that, you train your brain to believe that discomfort means stop. But the most successful people, they've trained their minds with the opposite rule. Discomfort means go. Confusion means start. Fear means step forward. They don't act because they feel ready. They act, and then they start feeling ready. Because the feeling doesn't lead the action. The action creates the feeling. Think about it. You don't feel motivated to write until you've written a few sentences. You don't feel like working out until you've pushed through the first 10 minutes. You don't feel confident to speak until you've started speaking. That first push, that awkward, small, slow step, creates emotional momentum. And suddenly, what felt impossible becomes doable. What felt heavy feels lighter. What felt scary starts to make sense. So here's your new rule. Never ask, do I feel like it? Instead ask, what would the best version of me do right now? Then do that. Even if it's messy, even if it's slow, even if it feels empty at first. Because when you stop waiting for permission from your emotions, you finally take power over your life. And that's what destroys procrastination. Not more hacks, not more tricks, but the decision to act, even when your feelings beg you not to. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to become the kind of person who moves anyway. That's how you win. Step 8. Discipline isn't a trait, it's a decision. Here's one of the most dangerous beliefs in the world. Some people are just naturally disciplined. You look at someone who wakes up early, works hard, studies, writes, creates, builds, and you think they were born that way. They're different. They have something I don't. But that's a lie. A comforting lie that protects you from facing the truth. Because the truth is this: no one is born disciplined. Discipline is not a talent. It's not a gift. It's not in your DNA. Discipline is a decision. And it's not made once, it's made every single day. You don't procrastinate because you lack ability. You procrastinate because you haven't trained yourself to choose discipline when it's inconvenient. That's it. Discipline means doing what needs to be done when you don't feel like doing it. Not once, not twice, but again and again and again. Until your brain finally understands that comfort is not your master anymore. Here's the problem. Most people wait to feel disciplined before they act disciplined. They think, once I build the habit, I'll be consistent. Once I have motivation, I'll commit. But it doesn't work that way. You don't build discipline and then act. You act first, and that's how discipline is built. Just like a muscle, it grows only through use. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, even a tiny one, you strengthen that muscle. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you make it harder to quit next time. That's the real secret. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about practice. It's about proving again and again that you can count on yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. Because the person who doesn't quit, even when it's boring, hard, lonely, or slow, that's the person who becomes unstoppable. And what happens? The next morning comes. You hit snooze. You say, just 5 more minutes. And because no one knows, there's no consequence. No accountability. No pressure. Just you and your excuses alone again. That's how procrastination survives. It thrives in privacy. It feeds on secrecy. It loves silence. But the moment you speak your goals out loud, everything changes. You bring them into the light. You make them real. You give them weight. When you say, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, to a friend, to your family, or even to your camera, you create a small but powerful form of pressure. Not fear. Not guilt. Responsibility. Now your brain knows someone else is watching. Now your actions have witnesses. Now your words demand proof. That's why the most successful people in the world speak their goals publicly. Not for validation, but for accountability. Because when you speak your goals, you commit twice, once in your mind and once in reality. So here's your challenge. Stop keeping your goals a secret. Write them somewhere visible. Tell a friend who won't let you off the hook. Record yourself saying it and listen to it daily. Because the more real your goals feel, the harder they are to ignore. And the truth is, you'll never win against procrastination in silence. You have to drag it into the light, word by word, action by action. Remember this. When you keep your goals quiet, procrastination whispers louder. When you speak them out loud, procrastination loses its voice. That's how you take your power back. That's how you move from intention to action. That's how you build a life that finally matches the one you keep imagining. That's the real tragedy, not failure, but avoidance. Not the pain of trying, but the quiet suffering of never even beginning. See, effort hurts for a moment, but regret hurts forever. The soreness of effort fades, but the weight of regret never leaves. It shows up in the middle of the night. It whispers when you see others living the life you wanted. It burns when you realize that you had time, but you traded it for comfort. Here's what no one tells you. Effort is temporary pain with permanent reward. Regret is temporary comfort with permanent pain. And every single day, You get to choose which one you'll live with. When you understand that, procrastination loses its power. Because suddenly, it's not about, should I do it or not? It's about, do I want to suffer now or suffer later? And when you frame it that way, the choice becomes clear. You push through the discomfort, you act despite the doubt, you move even when your mind screams to stop, because now you know what's truly at stake. You're not just saving time. You're saving yourself from a future version of you filled with what-ifs and if-onlys. So let regret terrify you more than the work ahead. Let the vision of wasted potential haunt you more than a long day of effort. Let the thought of looking back empty-handed become your greatest motivator. Because one day, the tomorrow you keep postponing will arrive. And when it does, you'll either be proud of what you built, or broken by what you didn't. You choose that ending right now. Not later. Not someday. Now. So today, I want to ask you one final question. What are you more afraid of? The short pain of starting when it's uncomfortable, or the lifelong pain of looking back and knowing you never tried? Because here's the truth, effort hurts for a moment, but regret hurts forever. That moment you finally push through resistance. It might only take 10 seconds of courage. That one uncomfortable hour of focus. It might feel hard right now, but 5 years from today, you'll thank yourself for it. You'll look back with pride and say, I'm so glad I didn't give up on myself. And 5 years from now, you'll also look back on the days you hesitated, the days you said, tomorrow. And you'll feel that quiet pain inside, the pain of knowing you could have done more, but didn't. So here's the truth you need to hear. Stop romanticizing tomorrow. Stop believing in someday. Start fearing regret more than you fear discomfort. Because comfort builds nothing. Comfort destroys dreams slowly, quietly. But discomfort, effort, and consistency, those are the tools that build the life you want. The life you want will never be given to you. It has to be built. And the builder is you. Not the future version of you. Not the perfect version. Not the when I feel ready version. You right now. Time will not wait for you. Life will not slow down for you. And your potential is not endless. It fades every time you say later. You only get one life. And the tragedy isn't that it ends. The real tragedy is that most people never live it fully. Because they kept pressing later. Until there was nothing left to press. You don't need more advice. You don't need another plan. You don't need to wait for motivation. You just need one thing. A decision. A decision to stop betraying your future. A decision to stop waiting for the perfect moment. A decision to stop carrying the guilt of wasted potential. The clock is already running. And now, it's your turn to start running too. You've heard every step. Not tips, not tricks, not hacks. But truth. Raw, honest truth about why you've been stuck. And how you can finally move. This isn't just another motivational video. This is a reset. A mirror. A wake-up call. Because you are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are just late to the battle. The battle against that voice in your head. That keeps whispering, not yet. But from this moment forward, that voice is no longer in control. Because now it has met something stronger. Your decision. You don't wait anymore. You don't ask for another chance. You don't wish for motivation. You become it. You don't wonder what could have been. You build what can still be. And if you fall again, so what? You get up. You start again. You keep going. Because success isn't about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. You're not chasing a simple goal anymore. You're chasing your potential. You're chasing the person you were always meant to be. And that chase, that pursuit, begins not tomorrow. Not later. Not when you feel ready. But right now, if this message woke something inside you, if it reminded you of who you really are, then stay here. Subscribe. Because we're not here to scroll through life. We're here to rise. We're here to change. We're here to win. God bless you, my amazing students. Your time starts now.